Hi, I'm Lesley Logan with OnlinePilatesClasses.com, and today we're going to do a full-body 30-minute Pilates Reformer workout that's very beginner-friendly. Make sure to subscribe to this channel so you get more full-length videos, you get tutorials, and some Pilates principles too. Welcome to OnlinePilatesClasses.com, the most supportive Pilates-loving community across the globe. Enjoy new weekly classes from our amazing teachers. Download the OnlinePilatesClasses.com app today. All right, we're going to get started with 3 to 4 heavy springs. So, every reformer has different colors of springs, so I'm just going to use terms medium and heavy so that we are all on the same page. All of my springs are the same weight, so I'm going to say 1 spring, 2 spring, but for you, think medium, heavy all the time. So 3 to 4 heavy springs. Make sure your headrest is up, and also if you can have your handles hooked up so we can get started, that's going to be really helpful for where we're going next. Lie on your back. Place the balls of your feet on the foot bar and your arms down by your side. And then make sure you're looking straight up. It's tempting to look at your feet, but once you know they're on the foot bar, let's gaze up so we can keep the length in our neck. And then you'll press out to straight legs and come in. Now, the important part is not how high your heels are at the start. It's just that you put them in a spot where they can stay there. So I kind of have them just a little bit of a lift, because if I go too high, then they have to drop down for me to straighten my legs. And then as you do 3 more, I want you to make sure you're squeezing those heels together on the way out and on the way in. You might have a heel that likes to veer. Come all the way in. And if you have a healthy back and a strong core, lift both feet up at the same time to transition to the next one. Otherwise, you can always lift one foot then the other. Place the arches of your feet on the foot bar and then hug your legs together. If you need to place a yoga block between your legs because having your legs together is not really awesome. We all have different size legs, different shaped knees. Feel free to place a ball or a block between those thighs to give you something to squeeze, but also some space. Let's do 3 more of these. And then if you can, lift both feet up at the same time, land on those heels, and then push out and in. Now it's very tempting to push out and kind of bounce a little bit because you're going to shove your knees down. I actually don't care if your legs get fully straight. I care that your thighs move away from your center. So we're trying to open the front of the hip socket, not necessarily the back of the knees. Let's do 2 more. And then we go to the first position again. So you lift both feet up, turn out. So the balls of your feet are apart, heels are together. Press all the way out for 10 and stretch. And then lower your heels and lift your heels. Now, it is not about how low you can go. Instead, I want you to hug those heels tight together and only go as low as they stay together, and then lift them back up, keeping them together. We'll do 3 more. You'll find that in Pilates, a lot of things have stretch in them. They mean strength. So we're trying to strengthen our foot to fast connection. That's where your thigh meets your booty. And then we're going to lift our heels up, come all the way in. Now, if you know how to tease up to the side, you can do that. Otherwise, you're going to sit on up and you're going to drop down to 1 heavy spring. Be mindful, we're on 1 heavy spring, not 3 to 4. So when we do this first press out, it's going to be a lot lighter. Lie back down. Make sure you're not stuck on your shoulder rests. And then have the balls of your feet on the foot bar, heels together, toes apart. Take your arms up to the sky. Press your legs to straight. And then you'll lift your head and chest up and pump your arms vigorously. So we have this foot bar here to kind of teach us what our legs should feel like when we're doing the 100. All right. Oftentimes when we do the 100, legs can feel like they're gripped in our hip flexors. So having this foot bar allows you to push into something so you can get more hamstrings, more glutes. Now I want you to inhale for 5 pumps and exhale for 5 pumps. Collarbones nice and wide. Inhale. And exhale. If you're wondering how many of these do we do, well, it's called the 100. 10 cycles of breathing, 5 pumps on the in, 5 pumps on the out. Lucky for you, we're pretty much almost done. So breathe into the low ribs in the back, take up space, lift the crown of your head up to the ceiling, and then bend your knees in, lower your head and chest. Okay. Come on up. If you know how to teaser up, you can do that. We're going to add a second spring. So you have 2 heavy springs on, and you're going to ditch your foot bar. If your foot bar does not move, if you have a fixed foot bar, be mindful of it as we move around. I don't want your feet to hit it, okay? But ideally, get it out of the way so that you don't have to worry about it. Now we're going to grab these handles And you want to make sure your straps aren't too short. So if your handles are way back there, pause this, lengthen your straps out so that your hands are kind of in line with your shoulders here. Bend your elbows into your carriage, that's the mat we're laying on, and then bring your heels together, toes apart. For coordination, we're going to lift our head and chest up like we just had it for the 100, and then we're just going to press your arms to straight. So I'm breaking down coordination for those of you who are new to it, and you're just pressing your arms to straight without lifting your elbows. So if your elbows are lifting up, stick with this and try to work those collarbones, wide elbows down. But if they are staying down, add the legs. So the arms and legs go out, the arms and legs come in. 2 more, the arms and legs go out, and then they come in. Let's do 1 more. Hold it. Open the legs, close. Adding on, bend the knees, listen up, then bend the elbows. So coordination, it's called that because we have to see, can we separate the knees coming in from the elbows? Are we in control of our springs? If any of these are too hard, go back to the level that worked for you. Last one. And rest. All right. Hook up your handles. Hop on off. We are going to do a swan prep here on a reformer. If you do not have a long box, then you can skip ahead. We're doing 3 exercises with a long box. Some reformers don't come with them, so drop it in the comments below so we can help you find the long box that will work for you. You want to place your long box on the carriage in front of the shoulder blocks if you can, and your box should stay on the carriage. If your box is off the carriage, then you probably have to put it over your shoulder rests. Every reformer is a little different, so now you know, because I don't want your box to tip, okay? 2 heavy springs on. We're gonna lie on our stomach, facing our foot bar, hands on the frame here, in line with where the frame and the foot bar are, and then shoulders over the wrists. Now, you might just hold this. This might be the extension you do today, and that's okay. Otherwise, reach the tailbone long. It's going to feel like you're tucking a little bit. Spin your inner thighs up, and then pull your heart forward. So keep all of this. So nothing's going to change. We're not going to drop our head down. We're going to lift our legs up to bring our chest forward, and then we're going to lift our chest to reach our legs. So the arms are not really doing any work. You're not doing push-ups here. You should feel the hamstrings lift the legs, and then that tips the chest forward and down, and then the heart lifts up and the legs reach away. We'll do a couple more together, like a little seesaw, and then step off to the side. Take a spring off for your pull straps. This particular exercise we're about to do, if you don't want to use the straps, if one spring is too heavy, grab some 1-pound weights or some cans of soup, and you can do the exact same thing without your straps. I want you to lie on your stomach with your shoulders at the edge of your box. If you've learned this with your chest way forward, try it with me today, because I want you to hold onto your own legs. So you're going to spin those inner thighs up. They're going to feel a little pigeon-toed in your femurs. You're going to reach your tailbone long. This lengthens our back so we can get the extension in our upper back, like we just practiced in our swan. Grab your straps, walk your hands up till your arms are straight and the straps are straight. Then you're in a long line from head to toe. We're only doing 3 of these, by the way, so if you want to do more, you can. We're going to pull the arms down, back, and the heart forward. And then the arms lower and they reach. Now, I see a lot of people lift the chest first. Instead, move the arms first. If, when the arms lift up, they're connected to your back, it helps you lift your back, then great. If not, don't worry about it. We'll get there. This is our first workout together, probably. We got to take our time. All right, T-pull, if you can. You're going to slide your hands down, open your arms up, and then pull them back and reach them wide. And the top of the hand is reaching for the ceiling the whole time. Again, just 3 of these. Something I love about Pilates is we only do like 3 to 5 of most things. Sometimes 8 to 10, especially when you're new. So you come off, we're going to get rid of the box. As promised, just 3 of those. We're going to take our headrest up, and we're going to place our sticky pad on it. If you don't have a sticky pad, just make sure you're wearing sticky socks, okay? Then we're going to add another heavy spring, so 2 heavy springs on, and the foot bar is up for our long stretch series. Now I'm going to teach you how to get on so you're already engaged to your center. It's really key. If you can transition, you don't have to stop all the time. So one hand, then the other with straight wrists on your foot bar. And then you take a straight leg onto your headrest. So the ball of the foot might be in that crease of that headrest, or if you're a little taller like me, it's just like an inch away from that. And then we're in this almost plank, and we lift our other leg up. Squeeze your heels together if you can, and then push your legs back and pull your heart forward. So as I squeeze my heels together, I'm not pointing and flexing the feet. That's not how we reach with the legs. I'm just keeping my heels over the balls of my feet and standing down into them, hugging those outer hips in and inner thighs. And then, closing the springs. If you're hitting those wheels behind you, it's a sign you're using your arms, not your legs. Come all the way in for down stretch. Here's a fancy transition. Ready? Bring both knees down at the same time. I always get the shakes when I do that. It's a good sign we're working from our center. So you want to switch with the carriage in, and you want to get your balls of your feet down on that carriage and heels back. I know some of us have really tight feet from being in shoes, so we do the best we can. If you need to, put a little wedge between your heel and your shoulder block. That will help you bring the shoulder block to your heels, right? Then heart forward. So this is the same heart forward we did in our swan prep. All right, so we're at the part of our workout where we're just combining exercise we already did and changing the shape of where we do them. So heart forward, heels back. Keep your chest up as you reach your legs back. So again, the arms are not pushing the carriage away. They're going to want to. Instead of thinking how big can I go, think how strong can I be. So reach your inner heels back as your chest is forward. If you ever see the ground, it's because you look down. So we're just bringing our heart up to where the ceiling meets the wall. All right. So fancy transition. You're going to drop your head down. You're going to lift your stomach. And then you're going to lower your heels in front of your shoulder rest. Now, a lot of people like to stick their weight into their heels here. Instead, put half the weight onto your arms for your elephant and half is into your legs. And then you'll notice if you're rounding from your shoulders or from your center. So pull your waist up, keep your shoulders wide. I like to pull my foot bar apart to do that. And then dig those heels down. If you can lift your toes, do it, but only lift them if you're digging your heels down. Then with your ribs up, push the legs back, pull them in. So I'm only going out as far as my ribs are up here, right? If there was like a little flame right here under my low ribs, as my legs go back, I don't get to let my low ribs drop down into it. So you pull your ribs up and your heels down. Ribs up, heels down. Double check you're just looking between your legs so your neck is nice and long. Now you can stick with that, especially if you're new, especially if having weight in your arms is new to you. If you want a little more, bring your left knee into your nose. As your right heel pushes out, your left knee pulls in. And then you switch. So we're giving a little prep for our single leg elephant. And you're going to see this again as we move on to our short box. Come all the way down. All right. So now we're to our short box. Again, if you don't have a box for your reformer, watch this, but let us know what reformer you have below so we can help you find the box for you, because your reformer should have one. So you have 2 springs on. You'll get rid of your headrest and your handles, and you're going to grab your short box, and ideally it goes over those shoulder rests and it's locked into place. And if you have a sticky pad, I love to use it because it just helps you, just keeps you from sliding around, right? Then you're also going to grab your pole. And if you don't have a pole, anything that's a stick, like a broomstick, that you can just take the broom end off is good. All right, we're going to have a seat and then place your feet into your straps. I have 2, so if you have 2, use both. If you only have 1, then that's all you have. But make sure you place it where your foot meets your ankle. That's super key, and we want to make sure our toes are pointing straight up. A lot of us like to overwork the toes here. I might even do it a little bit, but the more we can have our toes straight up, the better. And then you give yourself a hug. So the same round shape that you did before with your elephant happens here. You'll round back and round up. If you're not new to Pilates and you know how to extend in the back, go ahead and do that. I'm going to do a couple more like this and I'll show you the prep for that. So after you round back and up with your legs still reaching out, if you want to go into extension someday, you round back, you grab your box and you use your box to go back a little further, and then you round up. So someday going all the way to extension, we're not doing that today. It's a beginner friendly one, and we round up. but our legs are working here. Remember, it's a full body workout because we work the full body in every exercise. So come all the way up for your flat back. You'll want your pull for this. Again, make sure your strap is at the base of your feet, that you're pushing out with your thigh bones, not your knees, and then you hold this bar up. And you pull this bar super wide and your shoulders down your back. Now, look at a spot on the wall. So you're not gonna look at the ceiling, you're not gonna look around, you're gonna pick a dot, and then without going into extension, reach your legs down and away, lean your chest back, and lift it up. It's kind of like a vampire or a mummy coming out of those, what are those, coffins, right? And lean back and come up. So it's just a flat back. We're not doing the wave. I like to look at the tip of my nose. I go a little cross-eyed because it allows me to go a little further back. Stay up. Now this is the most challenging of all the exercises because we're in a side bend without sinking. So you're going to push your legs apart. You're going to lift up super tall and you're going to go up and over to one side and then come up. How is that hard? Well, here's what's hard about it. You're going up, not down. So the side I'm bending towards doesn't get to have wrinkles in it. So as I go up and over to the left, I have to lift my left waist so long. So it's the longest side bend. And up and over to the other side. One more time each way. How long can you get? Not how low can you go? Okay, you can stick with that. If you have twisting in your ability with your spine, we're going to do that right here. Hold the arms up, push the legs apart, twist without turning your hip, and then lean out, lift up, and then come to the other side, twist, lean out, and lift up. So we're only going as far as our feet are not shimmying past each other. If you can't lean, if all you can do is twist, that's amazing. It's so important to listen to your body and what it can do today. And not get mad that you're not doing it just like I am, right? We all are in a different place in our movement practice. Go ahead and drop your arms down, get rid of the bar. So it's important to focus on what we can do and celebrate that. Bring one knee into your chest and then grab behind your leg. Remember that single leg elephant? Well, here it is. This time you're gonna straighten and bend it. So if your straight looks like this, it's a little bent, that's fine. If it can go all the way to straight, great, but can you keep your thigh bone in one spot? We're gonna get a nice big stretch of that hamstring. Then we're going to walk to the ankle, flex and point, and then pull your head towards your knee, okay? So we want to keep the hips square. It's possible, especially if you're new, that your hip is hiked up. So what I like to think about is that my outer hip is hugging to my inner thigh. Trying to get there without my leg going over there. So I got to pull with my mind's eye that hip there and then head to your knee. And then you're going to round back. And if that's all you can do, you come back up. If you're like, oh my gosh, you've got to be kidding me. If your leg looks like this, just round back and come up. Okay, otherwise you round back and here we go, we're adding on. Walk your hands down to your leg and then walk back up. If you know how to do the extension, you can. It's so important that you take the challenge your body can do today. But if you're new, that you follow along and you do what's possible. We walk down one more time, we walk up and then switch. Pilates is a practice. And at OPC, that's what we really focus on. Where's our practice at today? Grab your other leg. So some days are better than others. Some days you're super flexible and this is no problem. And other days you're like, whose leg is this? Walk up to your ankle, flex and point. Well, you get to compare yourself to yourself and then really see how your progress is going. Bring your head towards your knees. Same thing you did on the other side. So either walk down and up or rock back and forward. And if you did the extension, go ahead, add that in. We're not here to be perfect. We're here to see what is possible in our bodies today. How does our own body feel? Okay, I want to give you something that's like a precursor to something that's coming up in another workout. I want us to turn to the side for a side steps prep. Your knee is going to come in line with your hip, and then your heel, this is important, your heel is up, okay? If your toes are up, that's going to be all hip flexor. We're not going to get to here. So heel up and then bottom hand on your headrest and get into a long line, okay? This might be enough for you. Hand behind your head. Now we're making our upper body a little heavier. And then we're going to take our bottom hand and bring it up and put it back down. If you know it's side sit-ups, go ahead and do that. We're going to bring it up and put it down. So the goal is, can I lift my hand away without falling or without twisting or turning? 2 more. Last one. All right. The thing I love about Pilates is that Every workout is full body. Every exercise is full body. And each exercise helps strengthen a different part of our body, but we still need the whole thing. So you switch sides. So we got our outer hip helping us push into the strap. We got our bottom knee pushing down, so both your outer hips are working. Top hand behind your head. Now your upper back is involved. Bottom hand, and bring your bottom hand up and down. So challenging that side body to hold us still. 3 more. And then you come all the way up. We get rid of this box. All right. We're going to add our straps on if you need to for frogs and circles. You might know them as in straps. If your straps had loops on them already, you're pretty much good to go. But if you're like me, you got to add your extension straps on. So you'll want to have 2 springs on, which you should already have, and then you place your extension strap through both handles. This way, if for whatever reason something unclips, the handle is actually locked and loaded inside the extension strap so it cannot touch you. All right. Once both are on, make sure your headrest is up, and then you'll lie on your back. Now, what's really fun about frogs is it's very much like the footwork we did, but with a more unstable stable strap, right? So you're going to learn a lot about your body. So bring your heels tight together, arms down by your side. It's tempting to look at your feet. I'm going to let you do that for 2 reps. So push out and notice if one leg is turning out more than the other. And then when you pull in, are your heels staying together? One more time, double check that your turnout is the same and your heels are tight. Once you're sure, you look at the ceiling the whole time and you go out and in. What I want you to notice is if your tailbone lifts up each time your knees come in. You should be in control of how much the spring closes, not that the spring is closing you. You are closing the spring. And you'll feel a lot more inner thigh and a lot more of that thas where that thigh meets the booty. Stay out in this next one. All right, with these circles, we're only going to go as big as we can actually stay in our muscles. So it's not about flexibility. We're going to take the legs up only as much as our tailbone can stay down, which is going to be less than straight up to the sky. Open as wide as the frame that your reformer is on. Lower down and together. And then pick up the pace. So these are swift, and you're trying to meet dead center without watching your heels. And then after 5, you reverse. So can you move your legs independently of your pelvis? That's what this is. It's really fun. It's a nice challenge. And I'm sorry it's not the stretchy thing you want it to be, but we're here to get that strength on. Bring your knees in. Take those straps off. And bring your foot bar up. You're already on 2 springs. We're going to do some knee stretches here. So you come on with your hands on the foot bar and then your heels into the shoulder rest. What you want to make sure, again, is that pinky toe, it's with the party, and get those heels back there. Now, with your knee stretches, we're just going to do 2 of them. You don't want to start way back here in a rest position, but we don't want to start way up here either. So you kind of have to inch your way back and forth to figure out where you're in the back of your legs. Like you could just like jump out of this position, right? Then we're going to only move the legs. So the pelvis is never coming forward. Push the legs back, pull it in. The legs go back and in. Reach your inner heel back, and you're just dropping that tailbone between your knees so you keep this long round shape. Closing the springs with every rep. Yep. That's actually more important. It's actually less impressive how far out your legs go, more impressive how much they come in. Stay in, reverse the curve, get that chest up. It's not booty up to the sky. The extension happens way up in the upper back. Same action with the legs. So broaden your chest, work your arms on your back, and close those springs with those inner heels reaching back. It's a tall order. We're asking a lot. Woo! If you're lucky, you felt all of your legs in that. All right. If not, don't worry. You're new, and we're working on it together. Add those 3 to 4 springs on you had from your footwork. So we're back to where we were about 25 minutes ago, okay? We're going to lie on our backs, and we get to compare ourselves to ourselves from the beginning of class. So you put the balls of your feet on your foot bar. You should feel way more connected laying down here, not like you're resting, but like everything is on. With your heels up, everything parallel and together, press out. Then lift one heel up as the other heel goes down, and then bring the heels up and together, and then you switch. Emphasize the up. We're just going to keep going. So at onlinepilatesclasses.com, we really love to make sure that you are able to compare yourself to yourself so you can see where your progress is. And we do that through accountability by taking your classes away, and also by allowing you to take that class as many times as possible to see how you've progressed. Come all the way in, pelvic lift, take your arches wide on the foot bar, turn out a little bit, and then lift your hips up. We also have this amazing community. So push out and in a few times, and you get to share your wins with them and ask questions. And unlike any place else, you can actually get your form checked. So if any exercise today you're like, I don't know if I'm doing this right, if you're a member at onlinepilatesclasses.com, we can actually double check that you are, which is so much more fun. Come all the way in, lower your hips down. Hop off, one last thing together. Come down to one spring for Eve's lunge. So place the foot into your shoulder rest and really stand the ball of your foot and then lift your chest. You're gonna bend this knee and you're gonna push this leg out. Now, it's so easy for hypermobile to hang out here. I could hang out here all day, it feels really good, but it's also on my back. So you wanna pick this hip point up. You just go out and in. So if you want to try an amazing trial with OPC, then just go into the show notes, hit the link in the description, and use the promo code YouTube. And then we can all play more together in our Pilates practice. All right, come all the way in. Got the other side. I like to just get up and turn around just because you're on one spring. I don't want you to feel like you're on a skateboard. And then press out. Again, lifting that hip point up. So we're never hanging out in our flexibility in our Pilates practice. It's so important that we meet the flexibility with equal part strength. So if you're a hypermobile person, hello, I see you. You're gonna work on the strength. If you're a really tight person, hi. You're gonna get a lot of flexibility. Thank you so much for letting me teach you. I hope you really enjoyed getting your sweat on with me. What I really want you to focus on is not what you weren't able to do today, especially if the pace was a little fast for you. I don't want you to, oh my God, I can't keep up with Pilates. No, that's not what this is for. You can actually hit this workout again, right? So you're gonna subscribe to this channel, you're gonna come back to this video, and you're gonna compare yourself to yourself, all right? What was possible in your body is going to lead to exercises that were not possible yet. We're all in different stages of our practice. We all come with different strengths and weaknesses. And what we do here with OPC is we make sure that we balance out our imbalances. So we're never gonna overwork or underwork anything. So make sure you've subscribed to this channel for more videos from us and have an amazing day.